Good evening, I am Tykeria and I'm reporting for CNN News. Tonight we are looking into very difficult ways that having a history of mental health struggles can make it hard for someone to find a good job. We like to think that laws like the American with Disabilities Act protect every worker from being treated unfairly. But new research shows up and suggests that there are still many hidden walls that keep people from being hired even when they are ready to. Our main story tonight comes from a study written by Bautista, Bolanis, and Morgan, where they look at how bosses feel about hiring people who may have a mental illness or past criminal records. Before we go further, we should explain that stigma is a negative label that society puts on someone because of their struggle they have. And an implicit bias is when someone has unfair thoughts about others without even realizing that they are trying to do it. In this study, the researchers asked people to pretend that they are hiring managers and looking at different job applications to see who they would like the most. What they found was very sad because when an applicant had both mental health struggles and a criminal record at the same time, it created a worst case scenario where almost no one wanted to hire them. To make sure we are seeing the whole picture, we also looked at a second study by a researcher named Shield, who wanted to see if there were ways. Bro, can you not? You're making me mess up.
Okay.
To make sure we are seeing the whole picture, we also looked at a study by a researcher named Shield, who also wanted to see if there were ways to fix these unfair feelings that bosses have. While the first study showed us that how bad the bias can be, Shield found that managers actually spend time with people who have mental health conditions. They start to lose those negative fears and become much more willing to give them a chance. This tells us that even though the laws we have right now might not be enough to stop the unfairness, simply talking to one another and learning the truth can help break down those walls that bad students help conquer. It seems like everyone has a very different view on this, but most people agree that we need to be more open about these topics to make things better. Reporting from this field, I'm Ty, and now back to the news. Now that we have seen what experts say, we want to know what people in our own neighborhood and community think about this very important topic. We are sending our own reporter out into the community to hear some real-world opinions, so let's head into the field right now. To wrap up our report for tonight, we have seen that having a mental health history can be very heavy weight to carry when looking for a job, especially if there's a criminal record involved. But we also learned that when we get to know people as individuals, instead of just looking at their past and judging them, we can start to build a fairer world for everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight at CNN Network. I'm Ty, and I hope you have a wonderful and safe evening. Bye.
Thank you. I'm standing here in IRSC campus, and we are talking to people today about whether they think the world is a fair place for workers who have had a hard past. I'm here with Sabine, and I want to ask you, do you think a person's health history or a mistake they made a long time ago should stop them from getting a job today if they are the best person for the work?
No, I don't think they should not be getting, well, I don't think I'm going to, based on their past health history or a mistake they made, because it's the past. So I feel like if the person show me that they have changed, and if something a long time ago, it all depends what they have done. It has nothing to do with the job. And based on the law, I don't think I should discriminate, with that person. I don't think I'm going to discriminate. If they are fit for the job and they show me in all fairness that they have changed and, everything is good now, I will give them the job. I'm not gonna discriminate, or I'm not going to go back, and especially if the person has shown me that they are truly changed.
And why do you feel that way?
Because I think everybody deserves a second chance. You know, just because they had the mistake, that doesn't mean I'm going to hold that against them. We all make mistakes.
Okay. We have moved over to the library to get a few more opinions from different types of people. I'm sitting here with Amanda, and my question for you is, if you were the boss of a company, what kind of things would you want to know to feel comfortable hiring someone who has struggled with their mental health?
Hi, I'm Amanda. I think I would want to know, have they gotten help or asked about help? Are they open to getting therapy? Is that something that they would need the insurance to cover? I think I would want them to be open and honest with me, and maybe be able to have an open line of communication when talking about mental health, and maybe it's something I can implement into my company that would help so that they felt that they weren't alone. Does that work? And then maybe it would spark other companies alongside my company to do better with mental health and have more resources, or do more together group projects, so that people would feel like they had a community within the workplace, which might help with mental health.
And finally, we are talking to Mark, who works as an expert in the mechanic field, to see if they think our community is doing enough to help these workers find a place to belong.
I think our company is doing a lot for mental health, because we have somebody you can talk to, and our insurance will pay or set you up with somebody as a counselor or anything you need to have somebody to talk to help with your issue.